All of us have 168 hours in a week, but once you take out things like eating, traveling, sleeping, and every random task that we need to get done, it ends up being a lot less. This is why we always feel like there just aren't enough hours in the week to get what we actually want to do done. That's why in this video, I'm going to be sharing 10 habits that have personally saved me over 20 hours each week. If you're new here, my name's Tom and I'm an engineering student on self-improvement while sharing everything I learn along the way with you guys. If you want more personalized support to maximize your time, then make sure to check out the first link in the description for my private community and coaching. Now let's get into it. Number one is to use a to-do list. This is one of the easiest productivity hacks, habits that you can get into, as it's so easy to implement, but it can make your time so much more efficient. The best bit about a to-do list is that it just reduces the decision fatigue. When you have that to-do list in front of you for the day, then you know exactly what you need to get done, and you save so much brain power from deciding what you need to do during the day. There are loads of ways that you can implement a to-do list as well, whether that's a piece of paper on your notes app or a dedicated app that you can have on your phone. Number two is to plan ahead. Similar to to-do list, when you plan each day of the week in advance, you can identify the pitfalls that you can fall into and end up wasting time. You can work out the most efficient way to get through your tasks and also plan around your most important projects with everyday things in life, such as traveling and eating and going to work and everything. And when you plan like this, you can make sure that you're prioritizing the most important tasks for when you feel the freshest, most energized, and then plan everything else that you have planned around that to ensure you get everything done. Number three is to prioritize sleep. This is a boring one as everyone's told to get more sleep, but you can imagine how much time you save by actually waking up feeling energized and not spending the first hour or two of your day just waking up to a point where you can actually function normally and get on with your work. And there are so many simple things you can implement tonight which can drastically improve your sleep, such as allocating enough time in bed for 8 to 9 hours of sleep, having a wind down routine for 30 to 40 minutes before you go to bed, and ensuring that you're avoiding drinking, eating, and any sort of caffeine later in the day. Waking up after a good night's sleep just puts you in that frame of mind ready to take on work, which is just going to save you so much time, meaning you can actually crack on with what needs to get done. Number four is to batch projects and tasks together. We've all been there where halfway through a task or project, we end up just quickly checking the email to see if anything's come in, and then something does actually pop up and then you end up spending another 20 minutes responding to that. When you keep switching in between these tasks, it just means neither of them actually get done as efficiently as they can do. It would be so much better dedicating 3 hours to something in your project and then half an hour going through your email, rather than switching in between both just to feel more productive or that you need a change. This is similar for the actual work that you're doing and the projects you're working on. If you're working on a specific assignment or a project for a specific person, it's much easier to get all the resources available and open for that one thing, rather than having 3 or 4 going at the same time, and halfway through project one you think of something else that you need to do for another completely different task and end up switching between it and not getting anything done. Pick a project, focus on that, and then get your work done. Number five is to turn off notifications, or even better, just turn off your phone completely. Every time a notification pings and you end up checking it for a few minutes, these things can just add up over time to waste so much time over the course of a week. This also drastically affects your focus and prevents you from getting into that flow state of just focusing on your work for a period of time. Number six is to write any ideas you have down immediately. Now, it's super easy to silence your phone and turn off notifications, but what about the 700 notifications we have in our own head that are just pinging off throughout the day? The thing is, although these are distracting, a lot of the times they can actually be useful and are insights that you might forget later on down the line. The best thing you can do is, when you're working, just have a piece of paper or a note somewhere where you can just jot down any quick thing that comes into your head. This can be things on another project or something you need to get done later on, or just reminders that you've forgotten throughout the day. Now, your mind is great at creating these ideas, but not storing them. So quickly noting these ideas down and then getting back to your work means that you can focus on what you're doing now and then review every random thought you've had throughout the day later on, which you can use properly. Number seven is meal prepping. I love meal prepping. One is really enjoyable because a lot of the time finding that energy to cook after you've had a long day can be hard. But what it can also be really useful for is if you're aiming for a certain weight or diet goal, or making progress in gym in more sport, it's really easy to track what you're eating to then make progress in these goals as well. Now, I'm not saying you need to be eating chicken and rice every single day for the rest of your life. What I personally like to do is doing a big meal prep session on the Sunday, having those for 3 or 4 days during the week. And as it gets closer to the weekend, where you end up going out for meals a lot more with friends and family, I then leave these open as I have more time to cook if I need to, or you might have other arrangements which you can use. Sometimes that frozen curry at the bottom of your freezer can really come in clutch when you have no food in the house or any energy to cook. Number 8 is to forgive yourself. Now, you may be thinking that this isn't really a technique to save time. You may be thinking what I'm on about here and how this saves me any time at all. But we've all been there when we've been in a rut or having a bad day, and we just get that feeling that the day is a write-off and there's nothing else that we can get done. This can just end up in a downward spiral of wasting more hours and days or even your week by focusing on what you're actually not getting done. And the best way to fix that is just forgive yourself in this moment. Forget about whatever you have or haven't done in the past and realize that from this point on, allowing to forgive yourself and realizing that the day isn't a write-off, meaning that you could just be saving a couple of hours for the rest of the day. Doing this and forgiving yourself, even if it just means you do some small tasks and have a good night's sleep, means you can start the next day even better and get back on track. Number 9 is to review your week. A lot of the time we go through our days and weeks and think that was a pretty good one, that was a bit shit, there's ways I could have improved. But when we don't actually dedicate that time to think what went well and what didn't, we're never going to know what is hindering us the most and how we can improve. The simple task of just writing down how you think the week went for 10-20 minutes can help you identify what is slowing you down and what you can actually improve, so that next week you know exactly what you need to do to save even more time. And the final tip I have for you is to just take action. The amount of hours we end up wasting each week over-analysing every detail or scenario that could happen, one, is exhausting and can really take a toll on your mental health when you're just trying to get things done, but also wastes so much time. When you know what you need to get done, just start, as it's only that process of doing where you realise that all the fears or scenarios that you dreamt up in your head either weren't relevant or were easily overcome, and any experience you're going to get from actually doing the task is going to be infinitely more valuable than every scenario you've dreamt up in your head. Stop wasting time and take action. There you go. There are 10 tips that you can use to save as much time as you can during the week so you can actually get what you want to do done. If you found this information useful and want more personalized support on how to save even more time, then make sure to check out the first link in the description for my private community and coaching. And as always, love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.